Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, of course, depending on when you are viewing us. Welcome to Around Town with Dave Walsh, and I'm your host, Dave Walsh. Our show covers the great events and happenings in the town of Stoughton, and the folks who make those happenings happen. Today, I'm excited to have with us Christopher McGhee, the director of the library, and Christine Iacobucci, the library outreach services coordinator. They're here to give us an update of the Stoughton Reads Together program and any updates of going on at the library. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back anyway.
Great. No, it's great to have you back. And I like to start my show off with an introduction. So if you want to go ahead, Chris, if you want to introduce yourself from.
Yeah, so this is my second time on the show, but just remind folks I've been the library director since April of 2022. So not a long time, but a few years now I've been here in Stoughton.
And I'm Christine Iacobucci. I'm the outreach coordinator here. I've been working at the library for a little over 12 years probably now. I'm a lifelong resident of Stoughton, and I try to be as active as possible with that. And some of the things I do as the outreach coordinator are senior services, home visits, as well as kind of anything that takes place outside of the library, I help coordinate.
Yeah, and I can attest to the outreach because that's how I've actually seen you around town and involved in activities around town. Frederick Richards event, in fact. So, so I see you brought in some props here. I see the Stoughton Reads Together program for 2025, and it sounds like it's been around for a little while. How long is it?
We started it in 2005, actually, so
wow.
It's been a while. In the beginning, the idea was that this would be something that would promote literacy, but as with any community read program, it really is also just to bring people together so that you have a single conversation, a single topic that you have, or multiple themes in that topic around a book. So it's just the idea is to give some kind of center for people to talk. So that's how it started, and there's a committee that was formed. It had select board members, it had school teachers, it had library staff, all sorts of folks from the community that joined that Stoughton Reads Together committee to select the books, and that ran very well like that, mainly focused on adults and teens for many years until the pandemic hit and they had to shut it down for a little while because most of those events were live and in person. But we started it back up last year, but we changed it a little bit when we started it back. So we wanted to get as many people as possible, so we included children's programming as well and really tried to involve the schools and multiple town departments so that it really is a community-wide event that is incorporating as many different people as we can. So like last year we had events with the rec department. They made a giant papier-mâché octopus with one of their programs with the kids, an art program with the kids that we hung up at the library. It was really cool. Everyone loved it. We named it. We had a naming competition for it. Its name was Taco, I think. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah. I was wondering what the name ended up being. I remember it being right up at the top there when you walked in.
Yeah, I mean, we kept it there until it kind of started falling apart.
Right.
We were really attached to it, and it was attached to us literally. But I forgot what taco means because it's not
I think it might have been the Japanese word for octopus.
Right. So so it's not
yeah.
like the food you eat. It was the Japanese word for octopus. But so that was a very successful program. We had almost 800 people attend various things. We had the author come and talk both at the library, and she went to the Willett School? Wilkins School, yeah. And she was just great. We had a lot of fun with her, and the illustrator for the children's book that we selected, she was also the same author, Cy Montgomery. And it was just hugely popular all over town. There were just octopuses everywhere, and everybody was reading it and talking about it. And we certainly had a lot of fun with that event. It usually involves multiple, it's kind of like book club, book talks, but we also do various other things that are related to it, so like art programs and things, to try to just really have it as expansive as we can. And we usually include some kind of field trip. So last year we went to New England Aquarium. We all had a lot of fun there. We had someone, I mean, it was a lot of fun. Someone from the aquarium talked to us, someone who oversees the giant ocean tank in the center, and then kind of walked us around. We went up. We had some folks from the aquarium there at where their giant Pacific octopus is to tell us, about her. I forget what her name was.
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but it's a very cool experience. If you haven't been to the aquarium, that was cool. And our Friends group to support our library association subsidized that program so we can make it affordable for people to be able to take the bus into Boston and to go to the aquarium. So it was a lot of fun and we really enjoyed it.
How many participants did you get to go up?
55, I think.
So, yeah. The bus was full.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
All different age groups then?
Yeah, we had infants all the way,
really?
all the way up to seniors. Yeah, we had a very wide variety, and everyone seemed to have a good time. We got a lot of positive feedback from it.
Good, good. And so this new program starting in 25 is going to be based on a particular book? Is that how?
Yes, so like Chris had explained, we have a committee every year that meets and deliberates different titles and what they think will offer not only a fun, interesting read, but also will lend itself to programs, to the larger community on a whole. So this year, I'm super excited about the book. It's called A Boston Harbor Islands Adventure, The Great Brewster Journal of 1891. So that's over there. It centers around 4 women from Lowell, actually, who travel to Great Brewster Island for a 17-day adventure. They call it, which I didn't even know at the time that the Harbor Islands were, a destination at a point other than day trips, right? So the committee chose it. It's a captivating story, and it has, if you look through, it's got gorgeous photos of both the islands and the Lowell Mills, and it's very well researched. But some of the themes that are in it are really pervasive in the sense of escapism and finding your identity and female fellowship, the importance of capturing your history. Right? It's a journal, so. All of those are still just as relevant today, as they were in 1891. And I read it described as a 19th century Facebook page, essentially, right? This is how these women were able to, capture what they were doing. But what's interesting is they never identified themselves by name. So when the journal was discovered I forget where the bookstore was, but a Harvard professor discovered this journal and he knew it was old and knew that there was, some sort of worth to it, right? It was worthwhile to purchase. Volunteers who learned about it from the Friends of the Boston Harbor Islands, they were the ones, in Stephanie Shuro, they were the ones that really delved in to find out who these women were. And they're the ones that provide, the backstory of these remarkable women. So it's really exciting, but the themes themselves also lend themselves to a ton of programs. So this year, I want to say we probably have the most amount of programs we've ever offered. We have over 20 programs.
There'll be something for pretty much anyone.
Yeah.
Hopefully folks will read the book. It is really a fascinating story. I mean, even just looking at the pictures, the ladies, one of them was an artist and she did like watercolor pictures, paintings. One of them took photography. So it's almost like a scrapbook. There's all sorts of stuff in there, little snippets of poetry that goes beyond just dry facts. They were weaving this like fantasy of their adventure. So that's why they called themselves not by their names, but by they gave themselves titles, the scribe,
little handles.
They're
so
called like the Merry Trippers, and then they each had an acrobat and different names. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So we hope that folks will at least thumb through the book. You can get copies at the library. We're distributing them in a lot of different places. But in addition to that, as Christine was saying, the programs really we want to make them as inclusive as possible, so that even folks who are not necessarily big readers can still participate in some of the things that Christine will talk about.
Is there enough copies that people can get? I mean, if you get a lot of people, right? Do you have enough copies to go out to?
I believe so. We have I think 25 that are cataloged to check out. And they'll be all located on the first floor of the library. We're going to have a display there, which will have the copies of the book, but also some companion reads that, will kind of branch off on the themes of the book. And, there's a book called The Daring Ladies of Lowell, I think. That will be on there since, they're from Lowell.
Right.
It really like kind of broaden the scope. But so there's really, there'll even be books for everyone, right?
Will there be cliff notes?
I know. Well, I guess I could make those, right?
Well, the researchers did a lot of, I don't know what some of these, what is the Rochester jam cake or
jelly cake
things that they were,
yeah.
They reference in the 1890s. We don't know what those things are, but the researchers give a lot of footnotes, so it's kind of like cliff notes.
Yeah, there you go.
You can sort of just read those and get a sense of what's going on.
Yeah.
If you can't, if you don't want to try to decipher the handwriting that's in the actual journal, you can just let the researchers do the work for you.
Yeah. So you read the book and then do you get together and then discuss? Is that how?
So that's part of it. Yeah,
Okay.
we definitely are going to offer book discussions. So there'll be 3. 1 will be virtual and 2 will be in person. And I'm also offering one at the Council on Aging too,
Great.
For a group that I meet with there. They'll be reading it as well. So yes, that's definitely part of the other, the broader scope of programs. We also have the author or authors, because they were, there was a collection of them coming to the library as well,
really?
which is exciting.
Oh,
yeah.
that is exciting.
Yeah, so March 26th, Stephanie Shuro and members of the Friends of the Boston Harbor Islands group will be there. And
wow.
yeah, I'm excited to learn about how they were able to research it and how they were able to put together, a book about 4 women that they didn't even know who they were.
Right. Doing all the research and reading the journals and
Yeah, so that should be really, really exciting. And then, like Chris had mentioned, we starting last year, we really tried to branch out and partner with other town departments. So, as I said,
outreach. That's right.
Yeah, right.
Outreach.
Yeah.
You're outreaching. Very good.
Yeah, give me a theme and something to bring to the community.
You're out there.
Yeah. But one of the things we had talked about was the importance of capturing your history, right? And obviously through the scrapbook. But so a logical partnership would be with the Historical Society,
Sure.
right? So on March 15th, it's a Saturday at 2 p.m., Dwight McCarran will be coming to the library and presenting a program that he's entitled Female Change Makers in Stoughton History.
Okay.
So off the top of my head, I forget the women that he will be touching upon, but
No, he's the head of the Historical Society.
he is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. So I'm sure the viewers know.
I know. See, that's what happens when you live here forever.
You're outreach to everybody. You know everybody, right?
And then I'm trying to think. So we're
Some
offering
of these events
yeah.
will be available also on Stoughton Media Access.
Good.
So, if you're watching this at home, some of these events, including most likely Mr. McCarran's presentation at the library, hopefully you'll come to the library, especially for the book talk. You can get the authors to sign the book if you buy
cool.
a copy of it. But in addition to that, you should be able to watch it at home too.
Oh, wow. That's great. Now, will there be maybe you're getting that, but is it going to be a trip to the Harbor Islands as part of this?
Well, so we're working on it.
Okay, all right.
Well, the challenge of planning mid-March to the end of April is, it's New England
Weather,
and
right.
weather is a
Exactly.
little tricky. So
Okay.
the DCR ferries don't start until May 18th. So we're being creative and we're planning behind the scenes. There will definitely be a field trip. We just can't say the specifics yet because we don't know them.
Okay, so that'll be breaking news when that breaks,
We're
right?
very close. We're very
Yeah.
close to nailing down the details on that. There will be some type of trip that will involve the Harbor Islands in some way, and it'll be rain or shine. So hopefully we'll hope for some shine and some good weather.
Right.
So anyone who has any connections with the weather gods that
Right. Yeah.
help us out from mid-March through April is we want good weather.
Yeah.
And I think that's you mentioned earlier about a lot of people don't know about the Harbor Islands, and the Harbor Islands at one time was a thing, right?
Yeah.
But now I think some of the some people have discovered some of the islands, so that's good.
It'll be super exciting. And one of the things we spoke about last night at the select board meeting when we presented the book to them was the importance of journaling. too, as for your social emotional, but also again capturing history. So Teresa Tapper from the Stoughton Youth Commission is actually going to put on 2 programs for us about journaling.
Oh, wow.
One for teens and one for adults, which is will be really nice too. And speaking of teens and other age groups, I should mention that we do have a children's companion book too. So I will show you that. It's called The Ship in the Window. We want to make sure families, children, people of all ages can participate in the program. So
this is the version I should read.
You should read both because it's actually a very cute story that really talks about having courage to follow your dreams and a little bit of escapism too. It really parallels nicely with the adult book. So, and that will be on display. I'm not sure if you're familiar or viewers are familiar with that we have a story walk in Bird Street Conservation.
Yes.
It starts at Bradley Lesser Playground.
Yes.
So the staff at the library is working on prepping the book for the kiosks, and so that should be out soon. And there'll be a grand unveiling of the story walk on April 10th. So that the children, and there'll be light refreshments then, and everyone's invited to that as well. So
And that'll be at the Lesser Playground. Okay.
And
Yes.
we're partnering with Stoughton Schools for that
Yes.
as well, so they're promoting
excellent.
that. I think they may even be talking about trying to do some videoing of it and some stuff. That's all on them. They're our partners, and they're handling that aspect of it. But it's a fun thing to do. As we get closer to spring and it gets warmer weather and people want to get outside, this is a good opportunity to do something with the kids. Keeps them active, interesting. It's a lovely book, and you're outside as well. And there's a bit of Stoughton history that's close by where the walkway is and stuff. So it's a great thing to do for families in the community.
And that's a nice walk. I actually like that walk out there. The playground's nice. That whole area is nice.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
So if you haven't been there, it's worthwhile going over.
And then another thing in going on with the schools, partnering with the schools, the children's department at the library will be running a poetry contest for the kids for the month of April, because April is National Poetry Month. So the schools will be partnering with Amy and Stacy, who are the children's librarians. So that'll be fun. They did it last year with the octopus theme, and they had a ton of participation. So we're looking forward to the same thing this year as well. We also have, I'm not going to list every program because there's a ton, but
that's clear. I mean, I go up on the website. There's just so much up there, which is so exciting to see.
It really, really is.
Yeah.
We do have somebody from the Department of, I'm going to say it wrong, DCR, right? So Department of Conservation and Recreation. Yeah. JP Patton is going to come and talk about the historic and archaeological resources of the islands. Which will be nice to get some of the nitty gritty, specifics of the island. So that'll be April 24th. And then I don't know if our viewers or either of you have gone to, is it the Brattle Bookshop in Boston? Ken Gloss is the owner there, I believe, and he's going to do a presentation about the hunt for antique books, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I've been there once, and you could stay there all day and look at all the old and unique books that are there. And I believe after the presentation there'll be obviously a question and answer period. But I think if viewers wanted to bring an old book and have him look at it, I'm sure he would. So.
And is that all considered part of the Stoughton Reads Together?
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the journal, as Christine was saying, it was found by a Harvard professor in an antique bookstore. So he doesn't even remember which bookstore it was. He went to several at the time, but he was just out and about and going into old bookstores, and he came across it and thought, this is really cool, and he purchased it, and Harvard reimbursed him for it. And I think it's in the Radcliffe Library now.
Yeah.
And then it just sat there for a while until the folks that wrote this book discovered it and kind of researched it. But that theme of like that hidden treasure, you know, that you can find in in these old bookstores, Brattle bookstores, are a really fun one. There are several in the Harvard area as well. So that's kind of why we're tying that in. So we're really kind of doing as broad a theme as we can, but it's still directly related to the content of this book. And so maybe someone at home will, you know, find the next great journal that we'll be doing as
we'll show the cover of that one.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any books I've authored that it'd be worth bringing in, just to let you know. So, that's great. So I guess one of the questions I was going to ask is this also online in case you do run out of copies? Can they actually go online and get an electronic version of it?
We do. So we offer 2 free apps, you know, library apps for books and audiobooks, et cetera. So Libby and Hoopla are the 2 apps, and the Boston Harbor Islands Adventure is on both of those.
Great.
And the Ship in the Window I know is on Libby, and I'm not sure if it's on Hoopla. But yes, they're definitely available. So if people can't get to the library, or if you want to make the font larger, say you read on a Kindle, because we don't have, you know, a hard copy large type, you can definitely make it how you, you know, bold or large or whatever on your Kindle by taking it out electronically.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
So all you need is your OCLN, which is our Old Colony Library Network. So any of the OCLN libraries, hopefully Stoughton. If all you need is that library card, and then you just download the app. You put your library card in there, and you can borrow those books just like you were borrowing a physical library book. So it's a very convenient way for folks who you know, can't necessarily get out, or who need it larger, or it's lighter. You know, you're reading it on your phone or
electronic.
Or on your Kindle or whatever. You can also sign up for an electronic card through our website. You know, on our website, there's a couple of menu options at the top. One of them is borrow. And if you go to that, get a library card is one of the links. And you can actually fill out a form to get an electronic card for us directly online from home, from wherever on your phone. And then you could borrow these books from the library.
So how does the electronic card work? I guess
so you just
unaware of that.
There's just a little form. So you just click that link, get a library card. There's a little form where you put your name and your address and so on. It will verify that you live in Stoughton, you live at this address through mail records and things like that. And then it gives you a barcode number. And that's not good for checking out physical things in the library. If you come in with that, we can convert it over to a real library card, but it will let you borrow electronic materials through Libby instantly.
Oh, that's huge. So I mean, whoever thought the day you'd be sitting in your house, be able to take a book out electronically to me is just a great thing. So.
It's really cool. So, and the pictures are all in there. So everything that's in this print book is in that electronic version too. So, you know, you're not going to miss out if you actually read the electronic version of it.
So when you get an electronic book, how long do you have? Is it just like taking a book out where you have X amount of days and then it goes away or something?
It's 14 days currently. Our network is looking at extending that to 21 days. Many other libraries in Massachusetts do for 21 days. And you can borrow from all different libraries all over the place with your Stoughton card. Like you can borrow something from Boston, you can borrow something from anywhere with your Stoughton card using this app. But most of them do 21 days. So we're looking at that, but it'll be 14 days right now. And then, when the time is up, if no one else has it and you still need it, you can renew it. Otherwise, it just goes away all by itself. There's no late fees or anything like that.
That's a convenient too. If you lose track of how long you've had the book out, I kind of like the electronic. I haven't tried it, so I think the last time I had you on, you sparked my interest, but I just haven't downloaded those two.
I listen to a lot of books online. I don't read a lot of stuff that way, just because it's easy for me to pick up stuff because I work at the library. But if I didn't, I probably would use it because it's just about convenience. You know, if it's easy for you to do from home, then you can still use the library.
Yeah, it's really funny because some people like the electronic because it's all, you can load a lot of stuff up. And there are other people who like the physical paper. So it's like a personal preference of
I'm a Kindle person.
Yeah.
So.
Even the children's book, I mean, that, it's because these really they're like works of art. If you're not familiar with kids' books, we think about them as like something for little kids. But I love the Hookem. This particular author, the illustrator rather, won the Caldecott Award, which is an award for children's book illustrators. So these are really like works of art, and you still get all of that when you're looking at the digital as well. So it's not, you're not losing anything by doing that. But I do really love these little kids picture books. They're just so much fun to hold too, and we have lots of these available as well.
Yeah, excellent. And did the same group approve both those books? Is that so? The whole committee did.
Yes.
Cool.
When do we start meeting? I forget when.
So late summer, early fall. I think this year we started in September meeting, and everybody kind of brings a book that they think might be good, and it's just quite a process of of elimination and looking at brainstorming what types of programs and things, the possibilities. So. Yeah, it's hard work for the committee because there's a lot of good choices out there.
Well, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, this time we really had. I mean, there were 3 or 4 of them that I wanted all of them to be. But it's not one read if you're doing 3 or 4 books. So it was a hard decision, but there were some good choices out there.
So you're going to be pushing for those next year when the next one comes. You've got your cue to.
I think I said we should rank them. So next year, the ones that almost made it this time should be higher on the list of possibilities next year, so that they, because we almost chose one, a different one. So next year, maybe that might be the one. So maybe we'll rank it a little higher, give it a grade on a curve or something.
And you won't miss it if you won't miss it in the next year when you're looking for books. You say, oh, that's right, we had that one last year, so you could pull that one out. So I guess, how do people participate in this if they want to participate in the program? Is there a sign-up thing, or how does that work?
So registration actually opened on March 3rd, and so now it's live on our website. So all the program, there's actually a separate page for Stoughton Reads Together, and on our event calendar online. So either place, and you just click on the link, and the registration is super easy. But we do recommend that you sign up for most of the programs. Some space is limited and registration is required, but some it's just recommended, and it just helps us plan. Honestly, Is
there any charge or fee or anything?
No, the only, all library programs are free. The only time we ever charge a fee is for the field trip. And that's because it's partnered with SOLA, like Chris had, the Friends group that Chris had described earlier. So, so the full, all the programs are there. We're hoping to we already have some people signing up. We're hoping to have even more. And we'd love to, for the author talk and presentations, I'd love to see the community room, packed full. Yeah. Another thing I just wanted to mention quickly is that we have these little pins, Stoughton Reads Together pins this year.
You guys are wearing it? I probably should put one on.
They're new this year because, like Chris was saying, the importance of a community read is to get people talking about it, right? So now if you have your pin on, your purse, your bag,
whatever. You're one of the people reading.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's a good conversation starter.
Okay.
And finally, I just don't want to forget to give you your own copy.
Oh, wow. Oh,
so
I'll have to sign up now.
I know. Now you're obligated.
How come we didn't get the children's version?
This one was signed by Stephanie Shuro. So
wow.
Yeah,
oh, my gosh. Wow. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Wow. That really touched me.
Enjoy it. Yeah, it's a great read. It'll get you wanting summer.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The story sounds great, actually. You did captivate my interest, so I will take this and read it. So. Hey, thank you. As we're running out of time here, I want to thank you, Chris and Christine, for taking the time and joining our show and informing our viewers. This is a great program. I think now people understand it and people can participate if they wish. And thank you to the viewers for tuning in to watch. I also like to thank Anya, Lou, Caroline, Amber, and Chris for all the doing behind-the-scenes efforts to keep this show happening. So this is Dave Walsh wishing you all a great day, and until next time, see you around town.